Hello. I'm happy you're here. My name is Cheyenne, and I have a confession I have to make. I love clowns. I really love clowns. So this is only like a portion of my clown collection. I love clowns. I love them. But yeah, in general, I have always loved clowns, clown imagery, circus imagery, the like. I have always been a big fan. I like them scary. I like them cute. I like them sad. I like them hobo-y. I love clowns. I always have. I always will. I don't have like a specific reason for that, but I do think some of it is because I have some very beloved childhood characters that are clowns. Ronald McDonald, obviously. I would watch like old episodes of Bozo the Clown as a kid, even though that's like way before my generation, but I had a bunch on VHS for some reason. And in particular, the clown that we are going to be paying tribute to today. So I have been wanting to do a look based on this character for several years. I actually used to get a lot of comments comparing me to this character, particularly when I used to wear Afro puffs a lot more because I do kind of clownish makeup sometimes, and I used to draw freckles on a lot. Now I actually have tattoo freckles. When I would wear my Afro puffs in particular, I would always get asked if I was trying to cosplay this particular clown character, and I wasn't, but like, I'm not gonna act like she was not a style icon for me, and that is Loonette the Clown from Big Comfy Couch. Now, I know not everybody grew up with Big Comfy Couch. I was a PBS kid, so I watched the Big Comfy Couch religiously as a kid. I loved Loonette the Clown. I loved Molly. And then, of course, I found out as an adult that the actress who played Loonette the Clown, Allison Court, has been a bigger part of my childhood than I even realized, because she's also the voice of Lydia Dietz in the Beetlejuice cartoon, which, like, I love Lydia. So it's very like she's always been with me. And a couple people have asked if I would ever do a cosplay of Loonette, and I've thought about it, but for a couple of reasons, I sort of decided I would rather do like a more inspired look. And the main reason for that is actually a pair of, these curls are not even today. Oh well, don't worry about it. Like, we're figuring stuff out. We're trying something new with the hair today, okay? And I had the idea to do like a Loonette inspired dress. So it's the type of thing where people who get it will understand what it's referencing, and people who don't will just see that it's kind of like a clowny confection of a dress. And that was the thought process behind it. And for the most part, I have everything for what I want to make in my stock. So I decided that that's going to be our first project of the year and our first real project on the new channel. So we're going to make a Loonette dress. I'm really excited for this. Okay, so first, let's talk about the fabrics we're going to use. So I think I have 2 or 3 yards of this pink, sort of really soft denim for a while. I do not remember what I bought this for initially. I probably had some idea of some project I was going to make with it. But this is absolutely perfect for that. This is a really pretty pink color. Obviously, we love pink in this house, so we're going to be using that as the main body of our dress. And then next up, so Loonette wears basically like overalls, and then she has a shirt underneath that has little, I think it's supposed to be different, like little moon faces, and they all have clown faces on them. We're simplifying that down, and we are just going to be doing a polka dotted fabric. So I think this is going to be really cute. It gives the same vibe, but it's a little more regular, and I think that the collar and the sleeves out of this is going to be just adorable. And then Loonette's overalls end in, like, they're kind of ringed in purple. And I have a little bit of a lavender here. I figure we're going to use that around the edge of the collar and around the cuffs. I might try and put like an extra little ruffle along the bottom of the skirt. I haven't 100% decided yet. This is literally scrap from something else. I'm not even positive how much of it I have, but I think I have enough for what I want to do with it, which is just a couple of ruffles. So we have that. And then as far as pattern, we're going to be using the Kathy pattern from So What Patterns on Etsy. I bought this a little bit ago as a PDF. I thought it would be super cute to make for something, and then when I started to get this idea, I went, oh, that pattern would be really cute for this. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I'll put it up on the screen somewhere. I've already put the pattern together and cut it out in my size. So I have everything kind of ready at this point. We just need to get everything pinned and cut. And honestly, looking at the pattern, it seems pretty simple. I would wager that this is probably a dress I could make in like 2 days, day and a half. It's already the afternoon as I'm filming, so I probably won't be able to get it completely done today, but I would bet I can at least get everything cut, pinned, maybe like add interfacing to the collar, to the sleeve sections, and at least get it started. I believe the pattern doesn't even call for a zipper. Like, this sounds like something I could crank out. So we're gonna go over to the table and get everything pinned and cut, and then we'll go from there. All right, let's go. So to start off, we just had to get everything pinned and cut. Now let me acknowledge it right now because it is so apparent on camera to me. I should have ironed this fabric before I pinned it and cut it. I didn't. Oh well, it's not the end of the world, but I should have. Like, do as I say, not as I do, all right? But yeah, the pattern itself was really simple to put together. I had to cut the front on the fold, and then the back didn't require being cut on the fold. So piecing it out of the fabric I had was really easy. Honestly, I have enough left. In the future, I might end up adding pockets to this dress. I didn't do it in the course of this video, so I'm not going to surprise you with pockets. But I have enough scrap left that I might go back and add them. What do we think, gang? And then I did the same for the lavender fabric. I really was hoping that I might have enough left of this scrap piece where I could have put a lavender piece along the bottom as well, but I didn't really have enough once I actually looked at how long these ruffles needed to be. Maybe in the future, I'll see if I can find something similar and add it, but for now, you just had to let it go. The polka dot fabric, on the other hand, I barely had enough of to make sure that I could cut out the sleeves and the collar. The collar actually called to cut out 4 pieces. I only cut 2 out of this main fabric, and then I'm going to end up cutting the other 2 out of white, which honestly I think was the better choice, even if I had enough fabric, because this cotton is actually pretty thin. You can kind of see it. You can see the dots underneath the top layer. So it would have just kind of made it muddy versus using a white backing. Then from there, it was just time to start putting everything together. I decided that I would put the body of the dress together first. I started by just serging all of my edges so that I could get everything nice and clean and finished underneath. And then I sewed the pieces together. It called for so little. Like, there's no darts in this, there's no anything, just a back seam and 2 side seams. There is an opening slit at the top so that you can add a closure and still like fit your head through, but it wasn't anything that was that complicated, so I was able to crank this out so fast. Okay, so honestly, the dress portion itself, it's kind of a bag, and I can't decide how I feel about that, but I'm gonna wait until I have the collar on it and I have the sleeves on it, and then at that point I might end up adding some darts or something to this, because like I knew it was just a shift dress. It's marketed as just a shift dress with a big collar and like big sleeves, but I'm struggling with this. This feels like it was built for somebody who has no boobs, because this is just a moo-moo. And that's where I'm at with this right now. But we're gonna keep going, because like I said, maybe I will like it when it has giant. Next up, I decided to prep the collar. Right? First, I cut out the white sections of the collar that are going to go underneath. And then the pattern didn't call for it, but I really wanted this color to be really pronounced and kind of really stand out. So I decided to add interfacing to my collar. So I also cut a third of this pattern out of a fusible interfacing. Then from there, I decided to apply the interfacing to the white portions of the collar. Looking back, I might have done it the other way around, but it doesn't super matter. Like either way, you just get a little extra stiffness, and that's what I was looking for. Next up, it was ruffle time. Now, one tiny quibble I have with the pattern, I was able to figure it out, but I'm thinking if I was somebody who was newer to sewing, trying to figure this out, the pattern calls for you to cut 4 of the ruffle so that you have 2 per collar piece. But in the steps, it doesn't say that you have to attach 2 of those collar pieces together. So if I was just me and I wasn't somebody who actually has been sewing for a long time, I don't know if I would have figured that out on my own. So just a little note, if you decide to make this pattern, make sure that you put 2 of the ruffle pieces together for each collar piece. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Then obviously those ruffles had to be ruffled, So I am just doing a really, really basic running stitch gather here. You can see me just putting the needle through, pulling it through, and as I go, it starts to bunch up. I do not always prep my ruffles correctly like this. I'm going to be completely honest with you. But because it was a pretty large piece, I needed to do it to make sure that I could keep it even along the collar. And then I just took that and basted it onto my color pieces of the collar. And then I attached those right sides together to my white pieces so that I could turn them inside out and have a collar. Makes sense, right? Next up, it was time to work on the sleeves. Now, I started by serging around the edges of them, just like I did with everything else, and sewing the seam up them. And then it called for me to gather the bottom of the sleeve and then attach it to the cuff. But honestly, I didn't want to do it that way. First off, I also decided that I was going to add some interfacing to the sleeve cuffs. Again, the pattern did not call for this, but I like to add it to cuffs and things like that just to give it a little extra strength. This wasn't super, super heavy interfacing. I think it was just mid-weight, but it just makes things lay a little bit nicer. Then from there, we had to attach it. Now again, it wanted me to gather this and then attach it. No, we're doing this the quick and dirty way, which is basically I just kind of half out where things need to hit, and then I bunch the rest together with pins. It is absolutely not the quote-unquote correct way to do this, and it's definitely not the way that I would have a novice put this together, but A, I've been doing this for my whole life, and B, this is just a fun piece for me to wear out sometimes. This isn't something that I'm really, really seriously trying to make sure every single thing on it is exactly perfect. So this is the way that I like to do it a lot of the time. It's not the way you're supposed to do it, but it's how I do it. Don't judge me too bad. Then from there, I just had to sew that cuff to the bottom of the sleeve and then attach the sleeve into the shoulder of the dress. And it was finally ready for me to try on and make sure that I was happy with the way that it was looking. Okay, so this is try on number 1, and I have a couple things already that I want to tweak. So first off, this is too wide. I don't mind a shift dress. This is too big. I did it at the measurement that it said I should do because of my bust. So we're gonna take this in on the sides. I don't need it to be tight to me. That's ridiculous. But just to there. Do you know what I mean? And then I'll say this. The sleeves in the main images are up here. And I think that's really cute. Them being this long, it is getting into nightgown territory. So I think that I am going to take the cuff in, because if I take the cuff in just a little, then it'll kind of naturally hit here. And that's the look that I want. I don't want it down there. Or I guess, could I just that's cuter than that. And I also feel like it might be too long for what I wanted. Because then if you do that, you don't see the band. So part of me feels like I should have shortened this and then made these tighter. So I think that those are going to be my 2 things there. And then I think I'm going to take this in about 2 inches per side just to give it a little, maybe not. Yeah, I'm gonna take it in because I don't want it to be skin tight. I'm not trying to do this, right? I would have done a much more structured pattern if that's what I was trying to do. But I just think it's not quite fitting exactly the way that I want. So I'm gonna go make those tweaks really fast, but I like the colors together a lot. Like, I think the colors really do give Big Comfy Couch. The pink and the lavender and the polka dot, like, it feels like we're like 70% of the way there. Do you know what I mean? To having it give the vibes the way that I want it to. So I'm going to take the cuff off, I'm going to shorten the sleeves, and then I'm going to reattach the cuff slightly smaller. That's the plan. That's the plan. Okay, we've got a plan. Let's make it happen. And to make the changes, we have to do every seamstress's favorite thing to do, seam ripping. The amount of seam ripping that I do between projects that I do for myself and in my job as a stitcher at a costume shop is, the limit does not exist. Honestly, this type of thing where if I had made a mock-up, I probably could have caught these things earlier, but this isn't that deep. This is a pretty simple project, so I decided to skip the mock-up stage. If you're just starting to learn how to sew, I do recommend doing a mock-up so that you can avoid having to make changes like this to your main fabric. Okay, this is with our fit changes, and I already like it so much more. Just shortening the sleeves and taking this in a little, like, it's still loose. I'm not trying to make it like a big thing, but I feel like this is looking so much better. I am so much happier with this. I think it's still, like, it gives Big Comfy Couch, it gives the correct vibe, but it's just not a complete circus tent, like a little circus tent. So here's what we have left. I have to add a closure to the back because the back has a little slit, and then it needs like a hook and eye or something. I'll see what I have in my storage. And then we are going to add our hem. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with the length of this. I thought that I might want to put some horsehair in it, but now that I've taken the shape in, I think that I'm perfectly fine with the way it's hanging. So here, I'll just so you can see, like, it's cute. It's very like cute, comfortable, fun. I'm really happy with this. I think it's super cute. I think it's so cute. Like this with a beret. Oh, it's gonna be giving Clowntina. Clowntina! Oh, all right. Let's see what closures I have. Next up, we added our closures. I'm gonna be honest, I added a really small hook and eye to this just because it's what I had on hand. But the more I think about it, the more that I think that I might replace this in the future. I think maybe it would be fun to get a big cartoony kind of clown looking button and do a button and elastic loop. A, it would be a little bit easier to find, and then B, it would just be another cute little clowny detail. Next up, I did a really simple rolled hem the whole way along the bottom because I was perfectly happy with the length. I didn't film it for some reason, but this is just me reminding you, please make sure that you iron your hems. I say it all the time on my TikTok, ironing is about a third at least of sewing. Making sure things are pressed is the easiest way to make things look more polished. But then from there, it was all done, and all I had to do was try it on and put a look together. And here she is. Oh my gosh, you guys. I felt so adorable in this. Now, Loonette wears striped socks the whole way up, but I actually don't have horizontal striped tights.
And your head's in shot.
Note to self, I need to fix that. So I went with these striped leg warmers and these purple tights, and I felt so incredibly cute. This outfit just brought me so much joy. There's something about wearing something that other people might think is silly, but that just fills me with happiness. That kind of like, that's what's more important to me. We only have so much time on this planet, and I'm gonna wear stuff that makes me happy as much as I can every single day of my life. I think that this really got the vibes of Loonette without looking like a full-on cosplay. I hope that it reads to other people, but I think it's one of those things, it probably depends on how much of a Big Comfy Couch kid you were in general, but I don't know. I felt super cute. I had so much fun. But seriously, I feel so cute in this. It's honestly a travesty because I have to take this off to go to work because I have to wear all blacks today. I'm going to be backstage at the theater. And I look so cute. I don't want to change. Ugh, my life is so hard. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this. If you made it all the way to the end here, obviously this is not the most complicated thing that I've ever made, but I just wanted to do something simple and cute to kind of get myself back on the horse for the year, and also just to kind of get back into the habit of filming making projects. Hopefully this was something that you enjoyed. If it was, this is a brand new channel, this is a baby channel, so please like, please subscribe, please comment and let me know anything that you would like to see, anything that you think that I should change or improve, etc., etc. I have not been on this YouTube grind in a while, and I really could use the encouragement and any constructive critique that you have. But that's gonna be it for today. I'm gonna leave the link to the pattern I used and any materials that are like easily purchasable on the internet. Those will be down in my description. My Patreon will also be down there. I'm working on trying to figure out how to rejigger it now that I'm gonna be doing more video content. So stay tuned on that. I'll talk about it in more depth once I figure that out a little bit more, but it's gonna be down there if if you feel like supporting. And with that, that's gonna be it, because like I said, I have to go to capitalism. Unfair, but that's the way that it is. So I'm gonna go, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope that you have a great rest of your week. I hope that you know that you are loved and you are special, and that I am so happy that we're friends. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.